Good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. Welcome to your second session on decision making. As you know, decision making is one of the most important sessions of XAT, and it's easy too. And here I am actually there to break all those myths that it's a difficult session, the options are confusing. Yes, a few options are confusing, but most of the decision making caselets and questions are easy, at least 60%, if not all. All right, good afternoon. Alarm Film Production. That's a good name. Alarm Films Production. So that's your company. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bharat. Can you see me and hear me clearly? Obviously, you can. Otherwise, you would have protested by now. All right. So, if you attended my previous session on decision making, you would know that there are generally uh, 21 to 22 questions. Hello, Mayur. 21 to 22 questions on decision making, out of which it's most 18 to 19, at least 6 out of 7 sets are on HR, business, and socio-political issues, which need only common sense. All right. Hello, Sumant. Then one set will have a little bit of calculation, analytical and numerical reasoning. But remember, I can do it, which means you can do it. But it's time taking. So in decision making, do it in the order in which you see. Suppose a set looks a little complicated, then move on to the next one. Solve it and go back. What is decision making? Generally, it's a short RC passage. Think of decision making as a short RC passage. Before every question, some extra information also is given. Hello, Rishabh. All right. So what you need to do is when you read the passage in RC, you have different questions. What's the main point? Direct, indirect question. Here, you only have to bother about the main point, which is the problem for which you have to find a solution or at least find a way to improve the situation. Right? So first thing you have to do is identify the problem, identify the players, because you would be asked to give the solution from the points of view of different players. If it's a school and there's a problem, you're the principal of the school, what would you do? You're the parent of a child, what would you do? So different perspectives. So you have to identify who are the stakeholders or players involved in this problem. Once you understand the problems and the stakeholders, when you read the passage, life is easy. You can answer at least 2 out of 3 questions. Now, what kind of questions do you get? You get multiple choice question and rank order option questions. Obviously, multiple choice questions are easier. You are given a set of 5 options and you have to choose the best. Those generally turn out to be easy. Now, students are often confused in the rank order. You have to remember first whether the question asks you to find the ascending order or descending order. There's a difference. In ascending order of preference means from less to more preferable. So the best option would be at the end. Descending order of preference means the best will be first and the least will be last. So once you understand that, it's easy. There's not much difference between MCQ and rank order because your best choice has to be either at the beginning or at the end. If you can identify the beginning, the best option, like you do a multiple choice question, rank order is also easy because generally only one option will have that. Let's say 5 is the best option. You'll have maybe 2 questions with 5 at the beginning, 2 options. If they really are mean, you'll have 2 options which will have 5 at the beginning. But the next option would be the worst possible option. So it's all the rank order options are also not difficult. All right. Yes, 1 or 2 cases will be very subjective. But then you can leave that question, which is so subjective that you think A and B both make sense to me, or you can attempt it and hope for the best, like we did last year. The DM section was easy. All of you, I hope, have solved last year's DM question. We gave it as part of our discussion. I had chosen 1 or 2 sets as part of our course also. So when you read last year's question, they were all easy. Somebody wants to start a store, somebody is feeding people during floods, rescue victims, and then, you know, what is the problem? Your problem is getting money. So, which is the best way to get money? You want to open a restaurant, you want to preserve the local recipes. What would you do? All easy, common sense questions. All right. Okay. Ready to solve? All right. What I've chosen today, not too many questions, but the caselets are longer, past year caselets. We'll read the case. We'll identify the problem. I want you to tell me what you understood from the caselet, and then we'll look at the questions. All right? Okay. Now read this caselet for 30 seconds. Restate it in your own words, and then we'll move on to the next slide. All right, first slide. Girirajan is an unemployed youngster from Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu. He visited Singapore. Okay, this is a punctuation practice also for you, where his school friend worked as a software engineer. In Singapore, he realized there were a lot of Tamilians in the Little India area. He assessed that there were very few restaurants serving authentic Tamil food. So he decided to set up a restaurant. Now we are assuming कि passport status sab theek hai, he can set up a restaurant. That is to be assumed. He set up a restaurant called Giri's in Little India, and it serves authentic Tamil food in the traditional banana leaf. Okay, not the buffet style where everything is piled. It's banana leaf served as traditionally as possible. Customers loved the food. Very soon, word spread about the good quality food served in the traditional way. So, Girirajan expanded operations, recruiting 10 employees, all Tamilians. All right, read the next. The case hasn't ended yet. We still have to understand the entire situation. Again, read it yourself and I'll summarize it for you. All right. So he visited his friend in Singapore. We assumed he moved to Singapore. He found that there were very few places offering, there were a lot of Tamilians, South Indian Tamilians in the Little India area, but very few restaurants serving authentic Tamil food. So he decided to open a restaurant. He called it Giri's, and he served authentic Tamil food in the traditional style, that is served on a banana leaf. He became very popular and soon he could employ 10 people. Part 1 done. 6 months later, he realized that not just Tamilians, there were a lot of Kannada and Telugu customers visiting the restaurant along with their Tamil friends. One day, a Kannada customer asked him for Davangere Benne dosa. If any of you is from Bangalore, you will know it's a very famous dosa known, started in a place called Davangere, but available everywhere. Benne means butter, and it's a specialty. It's a delicacy in Karnataka, especially Bangalore, Davangere area also. So this benne dosa or this butter dosa, somebody asked, and then he suggested, listen, why don't you serve Karnataka and Andhra cuisine along with Tamil cuisine? So the restaurant became more and more popular. People of other nationalities came, Malays, Indonesians, Chinese. They started visiting the restaurant, and his software engineer friend said, "Why don't you cater to customers of all nationalities?" Giri wants to go grand, but he realizes he doesn't have enough money for extra space to expand, and he wasn't getting loans from banks either. All right, so all he could do was assess his business. And what did he see? That the restaurant had 90% occupancy during peak hours and 40% occupancy during non peak hours. And both free figures were increasing with time. All right, this is the case. Now, first question: which of the following options would be most suitable for the growth of the business? He serves traditional Tamil food on a banana leaf. All right. He has customers from Karnataka and Andhra too. He has been asked to include these items in his menu. He does not have money to take extra space. All right. Now, but he wants to his business to develop. Which of the options is the best for him? Include Karnataka and Andhra cuisines in the menu. Include Indonesian and Chinese cuisines in the menu. Keep the focus on Tamil food only with an increased focus on quality improvement. Expand to include either Karnataka and Andhra cuisine or Indonesian and Chinese cuisines. Include Karnataka and Andhra cuisines as well as Indonesian and Chinese. Which of the options is the best given the demand, given the circumstances? Let me see your answers. Which of the options is correct? All right, give me your answers. A, B, C, D, or E. Should he include Karnataka and Andhra cuisine in his menu? Should he include go international and include Indonesian and Chinese cuisine? Should he keep the focus on Tamil food and do quality improvement? Should he expand to include either Karnataka and Andhra cuisine or international cuisine or include everything? All right. Okay, I'm seeing options, answers for D and E. All right, and a couple on C. Sumant, let's go with C. Was there any problem with quality that he has to focus on quality improvement? Did the problem is we are talking of what he is serving now, the menu he is serving now, versus what he wants to go. Let's add international here. International according to his software friend. But you are having customers, a lot of customers, Kannada and Telugu speaking customers. So, which option is likely to help the growth of business? They are already coming there with their friends, and you are serving Tamilian food. So, which one would give? See, here he does not have money to increase the space. So, if he includes both, and if he has lot of customers during peak time, the numbers are increasing, he will run into a problem of space. He expands too fast, including all kinds of cuisine. Won't he have? I mean, obviously, he wants more footfall, he wants more people, but here, isn't he expanding too fast? Shouldn't he think of space first and the money for space? So, this ideal but won't work because of problems of space. All right, now, what is wrong with option D? Why not option D? Either Karnataka and Andhra or Indonesian and Chinese, which is guaranteed to help with business growth. Which of the options? Some international people are coming, but these are part of the loyal base, no, who come with the Tamil speaking friends. So if he caters to their needs, they are likely to come more. So either this or that. Does it make sense? Or first this, later go to other things. If this had been rank order, then A will come first, then B, okay, or A and then B, or A, B, and then expand the space. Correct? So the correct answer at present, with all the constraints he has, is A. Other options are closed, but the point is here this is not his first priority. The Kannadiga and Andhra customers are still more, from what we can read in the paragraph. This because of the quality, this option. Here this should come first. It's not an either or case. Okay, between A and E, E looks great. If he could, he would. But the problem is, even though he wants to go grand, he can't because of constraints of space. So at least let him start with expanding his menu to other cuisines, and then other Indian cuisines, and then go international. Right? So A is the correct answer. I know subjective, but you have to think beyond your first instinct in these questions. Clear, everyone? All of you agree with A now? No, it is not very difficult, Sumant. Go to the next one. You will find. See, I told you. Be first when you let's go to this. Let's erase off. Let's eliminate options. Sumant, help me eliminate options. Okay, let's just eliminate options. First, what is the objective? Objective is to improve business, right? What are the constraints and how will he improve business? Expanding his menu. Menu now has only Tamil food. He has definitely customers from Karnataka and Andhra who can please them by expanding the menu. Expand the menu for international cuisines. He would love to do that because footfall is more, but will have a constraint of space. Even here he will have. He will have more constraints. Space will be a constraint to go grand if he includes international cuisine as well. All right. Now, here it's talking about quality. So this is gone. This will can be eliminated for lack of space. He wants to grow his business, but within the constraints, within the problems, within the restrictions that he has now, Sumant. So you have to keep that in mind. And what is the biggest restriction he has? No money, no, to get extra space. So in that way, at least this won't cost him too much. Karnataka and Andhra, Tamil, after all, it's all South Indian cuisine. Cater to this, have more items, maybe have people come in. That would probably help people come in during the non-peak hours. All right, then he can expand to international and other things. Got it? All right, now look at the next question. Started analyzing his quarterly customer data to assess growth opportunity. You have to think a little. It does look subjective, but you can think and eliminate options. Sometimes they are very confusing. There was I will include that in the third DM class. I could not find that particular case. He started analyzing his quarterly customer data to assess growth opportunities. He discovered that 20% of his customers are Kannadigas. Many of them were requesting for a few dishes from Karnataka. Now remember, what is the case? He has mostly a Tamil Nadu predominant menu. But 20% of his customers, 1/5, are from Karnataka and they want Karnataka dishes. He was not sure if it was a good idea to serve Karnataka food. So he wanted to experiment before taking a final call. He doesn't want to commit himself fully, but wants to experiment on a short-term basis in a limited way. Correct? Which of the following options is worth experimenting in the next 15 days? Short term, 2 weeks. He is going to take which of these steps? Introduce a Karnataka food day every week to please Kannadiga customers. Recruit a few Kannadiga waiters to interact with the customers. Rename a few Tamil dishes as Karnataka dishes. Serve Karnataka dishes as and when requested by customers without the menu displaying these dishes. Add a few Karnataka dishes to the cuisine, to the menu, to the cuisine, and display these in a separate menu. Which one do you think will work on an experimental basis? I've already got 3 answers for E. Do the others agree? And let's first start with whatever your answer. Help me eliminate other answers. Why not A? What is the biggest reason for eliminating A or not considering A? Quickly, one answer only. What is the your biggest reason for which you looked at A and said ये तो नहीं काम करेगा, क्यों नहीं करेगा? Why won't it work? Introduce a Karnataka food day every week. Manjeet, have you read for how many days is the experiment being concluded, being done? सी तो बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. हाँ, सी यू विल ऑफेंड द कस्टमर्स, तो बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. एब्सोल्युटली. ए भी नहीं होगा because you will only have 2 days, because you have got only 15 days. So in 2 weeks, one day, if you have a Karnataka day, you will have only 2 days. Okay, one day a week will not give you any data in 15 days to consider the plan. Okay, all right. Why not B? Why not B? We don't know customer preferences. Introducing every week would take very long. Exactly. Kannadigas can come any day. Perfect. All right. Because we're doing it just to please the Karnataka. All right. What about recruit a few Kannadigas? The problem is not one of language or interaction. The problem is lack of Karnataka dishes and introducing Karnataka dishes. It is not about creating an ambience where you have people speaking to you in your mother tongue. Not that. Therefore, that's also gone. All right. Between D and E, how will the customer know you're serving that dish if you don't put it on the menu? All right. So add a few Karnataka dishes to the cuisine, keep it ready, display it in a separate menu. Give that. So it's not there on the regular menu. Okay, perfect. Okay, understood. ये question तो बहुत easy था. Right, Sumant, you said the first question was difficult, but you found this easy. You've given very good reasons for each option. Let me tell you, most questions would be like this. You end up saying DM ke bare mein, why would people say it's so difficult? It isn't. Yeah, couple of questions always are ambiguous, but that's not our problem. Okay. All right. This was a caselet that requires, it's little ambiguous. Okay, not just ambiguous, it's, well, most students exactly were confused about which one really will help in this. So just, it's a short problem. It's a caselet with only one question. As a newly started organization in the IT sector, Saksha IT is a fast growing 400 employee organization. Its head, Saksha Kumar, believes in building an organization driven by humility. Okay? Not arrogance. Everybody should be modest, humble. He wants an organization driven by humility. All right. Now, what's his problem? Which of the policies would best help him achieve that? I want you to read each option, decide one, eliminating the other options with reasons. Okay, so After you give me the correct answer, I'll ask you what is the reason for eliminating the other options. Let me know. Read every option. I'll read it to you. The employees shall, in their annual evaluation form, be asked to acknowledge three of their shortcomings, overcoming which will help make them better. Or employees shall be asked to share with their peers three shortcomings they had noticed about their peers. C. The immediate superior would suggest three shortcomings their subordinates have to work on in a given period. D. Everyone, beginning with Saksha, shall be asked to share three of their weaknesses in a public forum. Employees, last one, employees shall be asked to overcome three shortcomings in the following year. Improvement, if noticed, would attract, this has a full stop, would attract rewards. Give me your answers and the reason why you chose that. Let's start with that first, right? Mehul, tell me why D. Harsh, why E? Like, what's the main reason you think that works to build a humility-driven organization, an organization driven by humility? I see a lot of answers for E, some for D. Can you give me one reason why you chose E over others? Okay, like what? Okay, D and E seems to be the most common answer. Any other answer? Okay, remember IT organization driven by humility. All right. So, any change, any policy you would have would involve your organization or public forum. Any change, any policy about your organization, do you think you have whatever shortcomings, personal, professional, do you really, what will be achieved by putting it up on a public, in a public forum? I admitted my weaknesses in the public. That shows I'm how do you know it's anonymous about their identity, Sumant? And if it is anonymous, how will it lead to humility, acknowledging your shortcomings? किसी को पता नहीं मैं कौन हूँ. I can call myself anything, right? How do you are assuming, remember, only remember the facts given to you. Where is it written that it will be anonymous? It nowhere has D said that you will be anonymous. Not many in public will know you. Then what's the problem? Then what's the point? I'm just asking. If I want the organization to be driven by humility, being humble is not thinking that you're the greatest on earth. You are a human being with weaknesses and strengths. By doing it in a public forum, what are you achieving? D, suppose humanity starts to share it following by others. Everybody share three weaknesses in a public. No, I have, whether it's Shaksha himself who starts it, I understand. But why this? Why should I share the weakness in a public forum? How is that going to uh, make me or make it achieve, help achieve this, that we are an organization driven by humility? You I mean, what if you get trolled in public about it? Then it becomes a shameful thing. Nothing. So what is the point in doing it in public? Also remember, it's an organizational policy. Why would you involve the public forum in it? Right? So the very fact that it's an organizational policy for achieving an objective, why would you have a public forum in there? It's not public name and shame kind of a thing. Suman said it's anonymous. Nowhere is it given that you'd be anonymous. And if you are anonymous, it's not going to, if you acknowledge your weakness anonymously, I can write anything anonymously, no? If people won't know who I am, how is that driving humility? When I acknowledge my shortcomings, that is a sign of humility, true, but it has to be sincere. If it's anonymous, you can write anything. Everybody should. No, no, E is fine. Why would it have rewards? Then you are incentivizing it. Humility followed by money. So is it the lure of the money or humility? I'm really humble, isliye I have acknowledged, I have admitted my shortcomings. Oh yeah, I'll get a bonus next year if I admit it. So this rewards is what makes E questionable. Why rewards? When you have a weakness, you're admitting the weakness. Why would you be rewarded for it? Understood? So this is gone. This is gone. I've only pointed out a weakness. All right. Now what about C? I saw some people, most humans, that if you don't admit your weakness, that is not a sign of humility. You admit your weakness, that's a sign of humility. Lure of money, not a sign of humility. Now see, the immediate subordinate is showing you your weakness. So where does it drive humility in you? You will be humiliated maybe, but not humility or humbleness. So C doesn't work. Why should the superior point out your faults? So what about the superior? He tells his superior, then what about Saksha? Understood? Bosses anyway point out your shortcomings. Your superiors will point out your shortcomings, whether you like it or not, professional at least. So this doesn't, you are not accepting it. You may not even accept it. If the superior says you have these shortcomings, you have to work on it, I may not agree with it. I'm not admitting it. I may not even agree with it. Just because my superior is saying it and I have to work on it, I will do it. That doesn't make it a humility driven organization. So these three are gone. All right. Same thing here. You're not talking about your shortcoming. You're pointing out your peer shortcomings. It's very easy to point out shortcomings in others. But this one, that you have your annual evaluation, you are acknowledging three of your shortcomings and how these shortcomings, if you overcome them, make you better. Here, you are admitting your fault. You're admitting your weakness. No peer is involved. No finger pointing is done. Neither superior nor your peers. Nobody. You're doing it yourself. No public forum. No lure of money. All right, you are evaluating yourself, and we are all used to giving ourselves 5 on 5 in our annual appraisals. When I joined my first full time company, I was very hesitant about evaluating. They said, do it. If you give yourself 3 on 5, your manager will give you 2.5. If you give yourself 5, at least you'll get 4 out of 5 or whatever. So that's the way the world works. I'm the greatest, you have to tell, otherwise. People see you as you see yourself. The world sees you as you see yourself. That's one of the posters I have in my room of a cat looking into the mirror and seeing a lion there. A kitten looking at its reflection in the mirror and seeing a lion. Kitten thinks I'm a lion, that the world will think you're a lion. But here we are talking of humility. Now you get it? Why B, C, D, and D along? There is at least one thing here which will make you question, is it really a sign of humility? Now here you made some assumptions. Sumant made an assumption that this public forum is anonymous. Even if it is, then this is wrong. Here there is, you are saying you don't admit your faults, so you have to overcome your faults. You have to be asked to overcome your faults. One, you have to identify the fault. Second, if those faults probably align with what your superiors say, there's a lure of money. That is not humility, that is something else. So each option has something which makes you doubt, and then you'll say, okay, this doesn't have any of those weaknesses, so this is a better one. Understood? I know. No, official, that year D was the this was the correct answer. Okay, there are different sets, but this is the correct answer. Okay, Even otherwise, if that's no, no, no. I have seen it also. Okay. So the set where I matched my answer, there was a lot of confusion of A and D, but A is the correct answer. All right. That's why I said when you look at the HR questions, when you look at the DM answers, 2021, if I remember right, there were two answers. I never agree with the official answer. All right. Mehul, I know what you're saying. Okay. But the set and the answer keys do not match sometimes. All right. This pakka. Now, forget the official answer. Do you agree with D between A and D? Tell me. Forget the official answer. Between A and D, which makes more sense? My job is to teach you what I think is correct. What is the right answer? Between A and D. ऑफिशियल आंसर के बारे में भूलो अपना इंस्टिंक्ट से बताओ कौन सा बेटर है understood why a public forum that is humiliation not humility if you ask me and organizational policies why would you share it in a public forum okay all right next another easy really easy one okay uh yeah you have to decide which is better and remember I know this sounds cliched but there are many times this has happened in ZDM. We are all convinced we have a discussion after the exam A is the right answer and the official key says D and we don't challenge sometimes but I still think I mean I know there's a lot of criticism on certain questions that ZAT sets and answers but overall I feel it's a fairer test than all other aptitude tests because it gives a student time almost you're getting 2 minutes per answer which I think is very important I have never seen an exam where you have to run. There is always a discrepancy in two answers in decision making, very ambiguous. We challenge, I don't know if the challenges are accepted or changed, but and what sometimes makes it frustrating is if a student has spent a lot of time trying to solve and then the question turns out to be wrong. Having said that, any question where you feel you're spending a lot of time, don't do that. Answer other questions and come back. If any questions looks ambiguous, here there was no question of ambiguity. I marked A, I will still mark A but there are certain questions in even in quant or what is that data interpretation sometimes you look at a set and students and parajumbles it used to happen with me with parajumbles I used to get very frustrated in the mocks in the exam I wouldn't do it parajumble I tried to solve and I said ye to hoga there has to be some logic here no point trying to get a parajumble right when you're spending more than 2 minutes so in that give yourself 1.5 to 2 minutes to solve a question you're not able to move to the next one you're in good hands all right and if you feel a question is ambiguous let's say B and C okay A say a silent prayer mark B otherwise leave that question unattempted move to the next one okay and don't worry too much about unattempted questions you actually don't lose that much marks despite them saying that after 8 unattempted questions in a section you will get minus marks for other unattempted questions something like that I don't know how that works out but we figured out that you don't lose much marks that way all right so just work whatever you're sure about, mark those answers. Where you have a doubt, mark for review. Come back later and see if it is worth doing it if you get the time. Okay? All right. And the best part is 30 minutes per section, extra next round. So you answer all sitters as you attempt the paper. That's the best thing about that, right? You can keep doing questions and just remember no question, you spend more than 2 minutes. All right. Next case. Principal Maheshwari Bink School of Management, Principal Maheshwari, comma, of Bink School of Management is facing a problem that calls for quick action. She received an anonymous mail one day, possibly from one of the students, complaining about outdated syllabi, mediocre teachers, and poor choice of courses on offer. Don't we all complain about that? Outdated syllabi, mediocre teachers, and poor choice of courses on offer. Which of the following is the, here remember the problem is easy. Anonymous email, should she even consider it? But then maybe it's from a student, so he or she didn't want to get penalized. Okay. So, uh, anonymous email complaining about outdated syllabi, bad teachers, average बना देते हैं teachers, okay, and not enough options in courses. Okay. So what should she do? Easy. Now read the options available. Should invite students to discuss any problem openly, one on one or in small groups, promise to act on them, but firmly condemn the culture of anonymous mails. Should she do that? Or update the students about the efforts the institute is taking in sprucing up the syllabi, hiring talented faculty, but make no reference to the letter. Tell the students, listen, we are trying to change all the points on which you have complained. Sprucing up the syllabi, hiring talented faculty, but don't mention anything that we are doing this as a result of as a an answer to the anonymous email that I got. Convene a meeting of the faculty at the earliest. Get them to work on updating the syllabi, arrange a faculty development program, but keep mum about the letter. Convene a meeting of the faculty, talk about the letter as a symptom of a deeper malaise, ask them to update the syllabi, organize a faculty development program. In CND, remember, one is she's doing the same thing, she's not talking about the letter. In D, she's getting the same thing, but she's telling them about the letter. E, ignore the whole thing. Okay, what is the first option you would eliminate? What's the first option? Okay, so you're saying A. What's the first option you will eliminate? Eliminate one option. Do nothing is most often not the right answer. So do nothing is 99.9% of the time not the right answer. Got it? I'm getting a lot of answers for A. Is she actually doing anything in A? All these answers in A. Is she doing anything about A? Is she really solving this problem? Problem is in तीन को improve करना है. By calling the students and talking to them, promising to act on it, she is only assuaging the students' feelings. She's not doing anything. Don't worry, don't write such emails. I'll do. Okay. She's not doing anything. All right. Yeah. So A, status quo is not changing. All right. Update the students about the efforts institute is taking in sprucing up the syllabi. Has she done anything about it? Hiring talented faculty, make no reference to the letter. Okay, should she, it is B where she tells the student, listen, we are making changes in the syllabi. But has she made it? Has she made any changes in the syllabi? Eliminate A and E in the first go. First itself. E, ignore the letter altogether, doesn't work. Or A, she's only talking to the students where they are not even the problem. Okay. Now, B, update the students about the efforts it is taking in sprucing up the syllabi. Are they taking any efforts? Or first spruce up the syllabi and then tell them, look, we'll change the syllabi. Hiring talented faculty, etc., but make no reference. So here also she's telling the students, look, we are making efforts to make something go on, but she's actually not done anything. She's only talking to the student. Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed. She should ignore the letter and not think about it. Doesn't tell us that she knows that the anonymous letter is wrong. The reason Four options are talking about doing something is maybe she feels that that is correct. That's also an assumption. Now, assumption is the anonymous letter justified? Is it not? Now, as a principal, if she is taking action, what is the first thing that happens? No, no, Sumant, before they talk to the students freely, I am doing this is not the answer. Do something. We are promising, we are doing. By the time that student has passed, gone 10th ho gaya khatam, she should ignore the letter as it is baseless and the school she knows is run well. The syllabus is updated, blah, blah, blah. If that had been given, then E would work. So now we are left with C and D. Okay, this is where your problem and my problem come. Should one mention the anonymous email or not mention the anonymous email? What are the pros in mentioning the anonymous email and what are the negatives in mentioning the anonymous email? What makes one option better than the other? That's the only difference. One is in D, you are mentioning that, listen, I got an anonymous email, so we should do something about it. Let's do 1, 2, 3. C is, why don't we do 1, 2, 3 and keep quiet as if the idea has come from her? This is the dilemma you face. This is where some people say teachers should know about the anonymous email, then they will know that the students are not happy and go ahead with it. Vishal, if that had been the case, that there is no need for any, then why would the principal act? She should ignore the letter and not think about it. Hasn't given us a reason why. Had E mentioned, she should ignore the letter as there is no need for updating the syllabus. The syllabus is already very good. The teachers have a great reputation in the school, so this must be some mischief maker that would have been given. That hint has not been given. So E is a no action question only. Understood? A again becomes a status quo question because she's only talking to the students and saying, Hum dekhenge, we'll do it. Don't worry. All right. What is the problem and why should she talk to the students first? What will she get by talking to the students first? Assuaging them. But this is just one student who's written it. If that is a deeper malaise, at here, this is the part about it. Listen, it's a deeper malaise. This is a problem. So let us work on it. Or second, keep quiet and work on it. That's the dilemma you have. The answer is keep mum about the letter because many would talk like you that, you know what, don't give importance to the letter, we are doing well. You understand? She shouldn't, that is why she shouldn't mention the email. She should go about making the changes. Okay. Now, if that email had been totally baseless, four options would not have talked about action. And the fifth option shouldn't take any action, would have mentioned why. Otherwise, it's just telling you she shouldn't take any action, has not justified why she shouldn't take any action. Whenever you get an option that she shouldn't take any action because it's just a rumor, then it would say, find out the veracity of the rumor. As a principal, probably she has an idea that this is true. Otherwise, why would four options give you something about acting on the basis of the complaints of the syllabus? So I think we can safely extend our logic to say kuch to hai for her to act promptly, right? Not really, but because again talking to the students first is not, let her take the action and then talk to the student, but the key is take the action first. A is she's just talking to the student one on one in small groups and she's only promising to act on them. And here she's talking about anonymous emails. Now, the fact is, not all of them have sent it, not even some of them. Only one of them has sent it, or maybe one in collaboration with the other. So, what is she gaining by doing this? Most students would have been probably clueless. She should invite the students to discuss any problem openly, maybe. But here the focus is she's putting the ball in the court of the students. Listen, if you have a problem, why don't you come to me openly instead of sending me anonymous emails? but she's not really acting on it. So this becomes a status quo answer where she's not doing any change. This would happen if she gets upset about something in the passage tells us that she doesn't agree with what is happening in the email. All right. In real scenario, first problem is the problem is being discussed with the faculty. No, here convene a meeting at the earliest, get them to work, getting an updated syllabi, arrange for a faculty development program. So mediocre teachers and updated syllabi is taken care of. Course choice is probably not been mentioned. The key is if you're telling the students, what are you getting out of it? Are the students the people to dictate what is there in the syllabus? They are just saying your syllabus is outdated. So she'll work on that outdated syllabus. Now, if that had been baseless, then one option would have told us to find out the veracity of the options. You might have picked D at least. No, either C or D, right? So those are the two options only. The point here is keep mum about the anonymous letter or go ahead. Now, I understand what you're saying. This is the exact dilemma I faced in the exam. How can you act on the basis of an anonymous email? Because you're the principal. You say, I noticed that the syllabus is not updated. Chinmay, maybe she would not do it if she were also not convinced. If the anonymous email were baseless, then she would not do this. You understand? If the problem is that the syllabus is okay, this is just some student just for the heck of it sending an anonymous email, then she would have acted differently. If it is repeated, Vishal, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Maybe she can later take an action to make sure no anonymous emails are received. But the fact that she's taking action on the anonymous email shows that's what it said. Most probably a student. He is afraid to reveal himself. As a student, you always are afraid of a backlash. So you said, okay, most suggestions that are given in the suggestion box in schools and colleges, they say you don't have to give us your phone number or name. You just give your suggestions. And many turn out to be quite malicious, actually, because some of them make sense. So, yes, there is a question about anonymous email. Had it been baseless, why would she take this action? So, as a principal, probably she knows that these problems are there. Had E told us, ignore the letter as there is no basis for such letter, as a principal, she knows the background, then E would have been good. But that has not been given. All right, understood. Okay, D is tell them, then there's the bigger problem. Tell the faculty about the anonymous email. Many of them would have asked questions like you. Listen, it's an anonymous email. Somebody must be doing it. We are fine. Our standard is fine. So she's not going to get the desired result by telling. Maybe after the whole thing she can tell. Got it? All right. Yeah, it is a confusing case. Now, I have not taken some of the easy cases, the ones which are confusing, where I felt I could justify the answer. There are some where I said, no, I'm not going to give this. All right. So these are the troublesome cases that we've selected. I won't select a case which was easy because you can solve it any which way. Okay. Now, this is an easy case. Easy case because we've gone way beyond time for the case. I chose the longer cases which were slightly difficult. We have only 5 questions. So let's look at this. Consider merit pay for teachers. Schools face constant pressure to change their management approaches to improve performance, which is usually assessed by standardized reading, math, reading, math, and science scores. The reading comprehension, mathematics, and science scores. In most schools, teachers' pay is determined by seniority, years of total teaching experience, and credentials. Pay is rarely based on performance, so it is seniority based pay increase, not performance based. Contrary to belief among parents and the private sector, parents and business leaders lament that there is no carrot and stick used to motivate teachers. You know the carrot and stick policy. Carrot show a reward. The carrot and stick policy is you show a donkey a carrot, it will do its work for you. You show it the stick, marunga. If you don't do it, punishment. So rewards and punishment. Carrot and stick policy is nothing but reward and punishment. So use a carrot and stick policy to motivate teachers. This is what parents and private sector believes. But in school, most uh, promotions are based on seniority, all right, years of total experience and not performance based. Consequently, there has been a greater push to implement some form of merit pay to improve motivation. All right, there is no merit pay for teachers, it's only seniority based. So, we should give them some kind of remuneration on merit basis to motivate teachers. Question is like a CR weakening question. Which of the following statements will disprove the claim of parents and business leaders? Parents and private sectors say merit pay or carrot should be given to motivate teachers. Nowadays, the schools follow a seniority basis. The performance pay is not given, merit pay is not given. Okay, which one would weaken or disprove the claim of the parents? CR question weakening question है, ये decision making नहीं है. Which one is the answer? Recent study suggested that teachers are self-motivated. Teachers are largely motivated by financial incentives, so pay for performance will induce greater and more effective effort. Learning cannot be measured reliably and accurately by a test given once a year. Teaching is a solo activity. There is little interdependence with other co-curricular or extracurricular activities in the school. To err is human, hence stick should be used to reduce errors. Which one will disprove their claim? There is no merit pay for teachers. There should be merit pay. Remember, what is the main argument? What is the main argument of parents and business leaders? There is no merit pay for teachers. It is all seniority based. There should be merit pay to motivate teachers. That's all that has been given. Motivate teachers, you should give them merit pay. That is what parents and private sector or business leaders are saying. So, which one would weaken that claim? That is their claim. Their claim is not that teachers are not punished for their faults. Their claim is nothing about teaching and curricular activity. Their claim is not that students are not being evaluated properly. Their claim is they feel that teachers are motivated by financial incentives. You disprove it by saying that teachers are self motivated. ठीक है? Identify the problem, you will get your answers. Now tell me, decision making easy or very difficult? Moderate at least. Easy to moderate. RC से तो easy है. Okay. So as I said in the exam, just follow. Do your strength first, half an hour. Keep answering sitters first, then go to the next line of questions. Don't worry too much about unanswered questions. Don't worry too much about it. Not that you leave them en masse, but whatever you feel is after the eighth unanswered question in a section, the negative marking kicks in. I'm not very good at maths, but I know that it doesn't really amount to much. All right. Uh, Join us for first impressions and detailed analysis on 7th of January. I will be seeing you again tomorrow or day after. Another decision making class, another essay writing class. All right. Until then, stay calm, Focused on the exam. I know you will do very well. Follow us on any or all of these channels to get your generally quant based DM sets are longer, but quant teachers tell me they don't involve too much calculation. If it looks easy and that is your strength, go ahead. Last year, the one that was given on chefs and 9 dishes and all had too many variables. So it took a lot of time. Many students didn't attempt it. A year before last, there was one on something about dosa and footfall and what should be done and pricing and menu wise. Again, if that's your strength, do it, but it will be quite, it takes longer. If that's your strength, go and attempt it, but don't take too long on it. See what it looks like. When will the admit card be out? God and XAT knows. God and XLRI know. Should be out soon. There are people who bought their tickets because they've got third preference cities and now they don't know what to do. All right. It will be set right soon. Okay. Just hope for the best. Give them some time. Some glitch, some horrible glitch happened. So don't worry about it. All right. Okay, I will see you again very soon. Until then, work hard. Bye. We expected them late last evening, the admit cards. They're not yet out. So today, let's see if they are out. All right. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.